everyone, it's Evelyn and thank you for stopping by. Today's video is going to be a tier ranking of the American Girl of the Year line, and not only that, but I'm actually going to be just kind of talking about my opinions on each of these dolls more in depth, and also providing some, statistics and data at the end of the video. So stick around if you're interested, and let's get started. So a few months ago on my Instagram, I posted a reel with that trending audio that goes, "How I feel about certain design choices with little to no explanation." I don't think that I can actually post that video on YouTube, and I don't want to get in trouble. So I'm going to just kind of show you a snip of it without the audio. But basically, I kind of made the reel on how I feel about the Girl of the Year dolls with little to no explanation. And I had quite a few comments come in just saying, "Hey, why Lindsey?" Or, "Oh, I don't like Luciana either." So I thought it would be fun to do a tier ranking video elaborating more on why I feel the way I do. And just as a little bit of a background, I collect primarily for the Girl of the Year line, so that's where most of my dolls come from. My first Girl of the Year was Marisol in 2005, so I would say that this is the line that I have the most opinions on. In case you don't know what tier ranking is, I just wanted to let you know real quick before I get started. Essentially, it's a visual list of someone's subjective ranking of members of a related group. So for AG2 purposes, you'll usually see these as, tier ranking of Truly Me dolls or outfits or maybe the historical dolls. So the lists use ranking similar to school grades. So A, B, C, D, that kind of thing. But a lot of the time you're going to see an S tier, which typically means superb. So that's like top tier. The website that people usually make these on is called tiermaker.com, and I have actually created this template and linked it in the description below in case you would like to play along. And with that said, let's go ahead and jump into it. So I am going to be ranking these based on the doll only. I might make a comment about her meet outfit, but truly I'm looking at the doll's face mold, skin tone, hair, etc. combination, and just basing my rankings off of the doll herself. Because obviously the meet outfit, they come in it, but mostly we're dressing them in other things. So that's why I wanted my ranking to be just on the doll herself. And just a disclaimer, remember that these opinions are my own, and I'm not trying to offend anybody who loves the dolls that I don't, and I certainly don't expect you to like all of the dolls that I do. So I just wanted to put that out there in case I have some viewers who might not be as into my opinions as others. So we'll go ahead and get started with the Girl of the Year 2001, Lindsey Bergman. She's got the classic face mold, light skin tone, blue eyes, short brown auburn hair, and Kit's freckle pattern. Now, we are starting this off on a more sour note because I really don't like this doll, and in fact, she's probably my least favorite out of the entire line. Now, part of that is that, to me, she looks like Chucky, and I can't unsee it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a comparison picture. You can skip past this if you don't want Lindsey to be ruined for you. But I figured out why she reminds me of Chucky. And I actually was validated while watching Chris at the Doll Studios by Chris's video. He tier ranked all of the GOTY dolls, and he said that Lindsey looks like Chucky. And I was like, yes, exactly. But why does she look like Chucky? So I went on Google and just kind of took a look at what Chucky looks like since it's been a while since I've seen his movies. And he has a lot of similar traits to Lindsey. So they both have those freckles, big blue eyes, smile, short hair, and that combined with the fact that they kind of share a color palette and stripes in their outfits really kind of seals the deal on them looking similar. Unfortunately, I just cannot unsee Chucky when I look at Lindsey, even if she's not in her meat outfit. So for that reason, I am going to have to put her down in D tier. Next up is the Girl of the Year for 2003, Kailey Hopkins. Going forward on these pages, I'm going to highlight in gray features that have carried over from the prior Girl of the Year. In Kailey's case, she has the same face mold and skin tone as her predecessor, Lindsey. She has the classic face mold, light skin, dark brown eyes, and blonde hair. Overall, this doll is pretty cute. I don't like the line eyebrows on any doll. They've just never been realistic, especially not for children. I feel like it's a lazy design, so I just avoid getting dolls with these eyebrows in general. She's also prone to the orange vinyl defect, just like Nellie. They don't all get it, but it's definitely the largest factor in why I haven't purchased her yet. Overall, she's not a bad doll, just not my favorite, so she's also going to go to the D tier with Lindsey. Next, we have the Girl of the Year for 2005, Marisol Luna. Now, Marisol was my very first Girl of the Year doll, and I got her about Christmas time in 2005. So she does hold some sentimental value for me, but she's also stunning. She's got the Josefina face mold in a medium skin tone with dark brown eyes and light brown hair. She reminds me a lot of my cousins looks-wise. They are half white, half Mexican, so they are Latina, but they do have that kind of lighter brown hair with the darker skin. And honestly, it's gorgeous on a doll, gorgeous on a human being. This doll is just so stunning and reminds me of them. So she's probably one of my favorite dolls in my entire collection, and for that reason, she is going into S tier. Next, we have the Girl of the Year for 2006, Jess McConnell. Jess has her own face mold, which is super exciting for the time especially. Light skin, dark brown eyes, and then dark brown, I would say probably black hair with red highlights. The only thing I don't like about this doll is actually the red highlights. I don't really like it in person as much as I thought I would. It doesn't really photograph in photos anyway. But overall, she's absolutely gorgeous. This face mold to this day is one of my favorites. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get her back when I really wanted her in 2006. But I have her now, and the little girl inside is so happy for that. So Jess is going to be going into the A tier. Moving on to Girl of the Year 2007, Nicki Fleming. She's another classic face mold with light skin and blue eyes. She's got light brown hair and it's curly, and she's got Kit's freckle pattern. So I think this doll is pretty good overall. I really like her curls. I think she's probably got one of the most realistic kind of light brown blonde hair colors that I've seen to date, but she is kind of plain. Only in the fact that this type of combination we do see a lot in American Girl just in general. So for that reason, even though she's super cute, she is going to go into the B tier for me. Next up is the Girl of the Year for 2008, Mia St. Clair. She's got the classic mold and light skin again, but she's got hazel eyes and red hair with her very own freckle pattern. And that freckle pattern is probably my favorite part about her. My only complaint is, why didn't we do all over face freckles? That is really what you see a lot of the time. It would have been really nice to have kind of something other than just over the nose freckles. But overall, she is stunning. I think she was probably a lot of our favorites growing up, or at least she seemed to be a lot more popular. And for that reason, she is going into the A tier right next to Jess for me. Now we have Girl of the Year 2009, Chrissa Maxwell. Well. I am not a big fan of this doll. She is not herself in my collection anymore. She's been re-wigged because I just don't like this wig. I love the Josefina mold used here. She does have light skin again, which I'll get into here in a little bit. Blue eyes, and then that dark brown shoulder length hair. I just think, I don't know if it's the hair or what, but I just don't like the way that this doll looks. But you know who I do love? Sonali. Why wasn't she the Girl of the Year? That's what I don't understand. She has a brand new face mold. the best meet outfit of the three. You know, I guess maybe because she was a former bully, but this is one of those cases where I'm like, obviously you were trying to test the waters with the Sonali mold. She's kind of an experiment in some ways, and you didn't want to take the risk on an Indian American doll for the Girl of the Year. So you took the easy route. You put Chrissa at the forefront and made Sonali a friend. And that is just, I could go into a whole tangent about it. I won't in this video, but I just want to express that I feel like she should have been the Girl of the Year. And in my collection, that's who I have as my Girl of the Year for 2009. That's the one that I got and loved. Chrissa is going to go into the D tier for me as a result. And Sonali is actually my A tier doll from this collection. Gwen, she's not very, shall we say, unique either. She is a blonde with brown eyes, which of course we already actually have a doll exactly like this in the Truly Me line. I don't know what it was called back then, but they just stuck her there just to have her. And not only that, but I remember actually purchasing this meet outfit for like $15 at the American Girl store. So I'm not really quite sure that she sold that well either. I like the character, but again, that's not the point. So she's going to go into D tier for me as well. Next is the Girl of the Year for 2010, Lanie Holland. Lanie has the classic mold, light skin, hazel eyes, and blonde curly hair with side-swept bangs. I'm not a fan of those bangs, and if she didn't have those, she would definitely be higher on my list. But overall, I think she's a super cute doll. Nothing special, but I don't dislike her either. So she is going to go into the C tier for me. Now for the Girl of the Year 2011, Kanani. You guys probably already know what I'm going to say because I've already disclosed that she's my very favorite doll in my collection, but she is amazing. Perfection. She's got the Jess mold in a medium skin tone, hazel eyes, and then light brown hair that's like long and wavy. To me, she is the definition of S tier. She has such a unique feature combination. I absolutely love the Jess mold, and seeing it in this medium skin makes my heart so happy. Her long hair is so fun to play with, and just overall, she's gorgeous, she's fun, she is everything. So S tier she goes. Up next is the Girl of the Year for 2012, McKenna Brooks. Now, McKenna is a gorgeous doll, and I absolutely love her wig. But she is a Josefina mold with light skin and blue eyes. And that might sound familiar because just a few years prior, we had the exact same face, but with a different wig. So even though her hair is absolutely fantastic and I love her little face, it's just like Chrissa, it's not unique. You've also probably have Elizabeth out at the same time. So for me, I adore her, but she isn't one of my favorites. So she's going to go in the B tier for me. Now we have the Girl of the Year 2013, Saige Copeland. She's another classic mold gal with light skin, but she has some unique turquoise blue eyes and a gorgeous dark auburn hair color. That combined with her freckles make for a super cute doll and honestly kind of like a better version of Nicki. She is so stunning, and I think honestly part of why I think she's so beautiful is that my Saige in my collection is probably one of my favorite Saiges I've ever seen. Her classic mold is super cute. I don't know what it is about her, but for that reason, Saige is going to be an A tier for me. Next up is the Girl of the Year 2014, Isabelle Palmer. She is yet another light-skinned classic mold with hazel eyes. So she basically has Lanie's face, but with straightened blonde hair. So for that reason, she is going to go right next to Lanie in the C tier for me. Next up is the Girl of the Year for 2015, Grace Thomas. She's got the Josefina mold in a light skin tone with blue eyes. Hello, Chrissa Clone. Straight medium brown hair and freckles. So she has these side bangs, which I'm really not a fan of. She is really cute though. I do really like her freckle pattern and I like her eyebrows. So she's probably what I would have liked Chrissa to look like. She's definitely Chrissa with a few modifications, which irritates me a little bit, but because she is such a cutie, I am going to put her in the B tier. Next up is one of my favorites, and probably yours too, Girl of the Year 2016, Lea Clark. She has a Josefina face mold with the medium skin tone and hazel eyes, and her hair is this gorgeous, like caramel with highlights. She has unique brows, and I would even say she has a unique lip and teeth paint. So I absolutely love this doll. For me, she is cream of the crop, absolutely gorgeous. She photographs well. She has such a fun wig to play with, and she's just very striking to look at. So for that reason, she is going to go in the S tier. Next, we have the Girl of the Year 2017, Gabriela McBride. Or is it truly Me 46? Personally, I can't tell the difference without their meat outfits on, and neither can anyone because they're the exact same. Now, I could go on a tangent about this too, and I won't right now. But I will say that the fact that this is a recycled Truly Me doll is the reason that I'm putting her where I am. I do think she is absolutely gorgeous, and I personally was able to find a Gabriella doll that has kind of that darker lip paint, which makes her even more beautiful. So overall, gorgeous doll. She's got the Sonali face mold, dark skin, brown hair, and brown eyes. She's beautiful, but she is going to go in the B tier for me. Up next is the Girl of the Year for 2018, Luciana Vega. She's got the Josefina mold in a medium skin tone with brown eyes and brown hair. And probably my least favorite thing about this doll, and the reason I don't like her, is her hair. So she has the same face as my Marisol, the brown eyes with the Josefina mold, but her hair is just not great in my opinion. The side swept bangs and the purple streak absolutely kill it for me. And it doesn't help that pretty much every picture that I see of this doll is of a doll that has the bad eyes, so she doesn't photograph well either. I think that I might change my opinion of her if I can find a decent enough one, but for now, she's going into the D tier for me. Next up, the Girl of the Year for 2019, Blaire Wilson. It might not come as a surprise to you that this is one of my favorite dolls because she has the very light skin tone. She wasn't the very first to have it. I think there was a Truly Me that did first, but I am a pale gal. So having a doll with my skin tone is super cool, and that combined with the Josefina mold, green eyes and red hair just makes her so beautiful to me, and I really like the expression that her unique brows create. So for this reason, she is going to be S tier for me. In my opinion, she's probably one of the most beautiful dolls that I have. Next, the Girl of the Year 2020, Joss Kendrick. So her face mold is her own, which is super exciting. She's got light skin, brown hair, and brown eyes. And probably my favorite part about her, she has a hearing aid. This is amazing. It's one of the first times that we've seen a physical representation of a disability on a doll, and that is huge, I think. Now, the only thing I will say is, does anybody else's Joss look like this stock photo? Because mine definitely doesn't. Her face is like longer or something. This stock image and a lot of the stock images that I've seen have more of a doe-eyed look, which is super cute, but I'm like, why doesn't my doll look like that? So let me know in the comments below if your Joss looks anything like this. That said though, Joss really is gorgeous, an amazing doll, and for that reason, she's gonna go in the A tier. Next up, Girl of the Year 2021, Keira Bailey. She's got the Josefina mold, light skin tone, green eyes, and light blonde hair. Now, at first glance, you might think, oh, wow, this is a copy of Blaire, but I don't think so, especially having both of them. I also don't think she looks as much like Julie as people say. So for that reason, my opinion of her is definitely a lot higher than most people's. I do really like her. I think she's fun to style. She's beautiful. And for that reason, she is going to go in the B tier. Next, we have Corinne Tan, Girl of the Year 2022. So I love this doll. She actually is the doll that got me back into collecting at the end of 2022. I saw her and was like, oh my gosh, I love her. So she has her own face mold, which again, so exciting. She's got light skin, these big, beautiful brown eyes, and then that's black hair. Now, her only downfall for me is that she has colored hair streaks. Now, I think they are cute on her, I will say, but I'm not a fan of it, especially because these are supposed to be kids. I don't know. I just think that the natural hair color is the way to go, but it's cute. It just limits the outfits that she can wear. So even though she is one of my favorite dolls in my collection, she is still going to go in A tier because of that hair. And lastly, we have the Girl of the Year 2023, Kavi Sharma. So I really love Kavi. I think that she's absolutely gorgeous. I'm so happy to see the Marie Grace mold used, but I am a bit disappointed that they used it in the Truly Me line first. I think it made her a little bit less special, so to speak, when she came out. She's got medium skin, brown hair. Actually, honestly, it looks more black to me, so I count it as black. With brown eyes, and she has painted lashes, which I think look good on her. Overall, I think this doll is so beautiful. Her hair is fun and easy to style, and she just looks good in pretty much any color you can think of. So I really adore this doll, and she is going to go in A tier for me as well. So that concludes the tier ranking portion of this video. I went ahead and ranked my S tier girlies from 1 to 5, just in case you're curious, but I do want to reiterate that these are just my opinions, and your opinions might be different than mine. Maybe Lindsey is your very favorite doll, and I just completely insulted you by comparing her to Chucky, or maybe you really don't like Kanani if you think she's overrated. It's okay that we all have our own opinions, and just keep in mind that that is not a diss to you if I don't like a doll that you like. We just are different, and that's okay. We probably have different priorities in our collecting or just have different tastes. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into some data. Before I conclude the video, I thought it might be kind of fun to take a look at some actual data on the features of the Girl of the Year dolls over the years. During the video, I talked a lot about, oh, this is a classic mold, they've already done this, or this looks a lot like Chrissa. So I wanted to just kind of get a visual on, what features that they use throughout the years, what's kind of been repeated a lot, what features that they tend to use the most. So it's kind of fun. Let's dive into it. So as you can see, I've kind of used some basic categories for these. So we've got the face mold, which is a pretty obvious one. The eye color, which they really have apparently only used 4 generic eye colors in the line. I did count Saige's as blue. And skin color, which I just used 3 categories here: light, medium, dark, and hair, which I broke down into 4 categories: blonde, brown, black, and red. Now, obviously, we do have a bit more variation than that. For example, Blaire has the lightest skin tone, but I'm just counting it as light for this. And, of course, Nicki's blonde hair might be brown to you, and Kavi's black hair might also be brown to you. So a little bit of this is subjective, but it's still super fun to look at. One of the things that I found the most interesting here is that the Josefina mold actually beats out the classic mold for the most used face mold in this line. I thought for sure it was going to be classic, especially since they tend to do those, 2 or 3 dolls in a row, it seems. Unsurprisingly, though, brown eyes are the most common, followed by blue, and green eyes have only more recently been used in Blaire and Kira. the most unshocking data of all is that 71.4% of all of these dolls have light skin. Only one has dark skin. Actually, the percentage of medium skin surprised me a bit, but looking at this all together, I cannot believe that we have only one dark-skinned doll. It's really sad to me and just kind of frustrating. Yes, maybe 70-something% of the US population is white. That makes sense. But more than 4% is black. So, I don't know, I really hope that they can rectify this at some point. It's embarrassing, quite frankly. Next up is hair color, and of course, brown makes sense for being the most common, but also unsurprisingly, blonde makes up a huge chunk. Man, they really love their blondes with light skin, just like apparently the rest of America. Okay, I digress. This is really neat to look at, though, because you can kind of see some of the repeating features over the years, and, there's a couple of them that have the same face, eyes, skin, and hair color. Chrissa, Grace, for example. So anyway, I just thought that this would be kind of a fun visual for you guys because I haven't really seen anybody put the data together like this before. Definitely, if this is something that you like to look at, let me know because I would be interested in making almost kind of an infographic style data like this just in general to look at that kind of shows the physical characteristics of these dolls. Another thing that would be cool to look at would be like color schemes and themes and all of those things. I'm a very visual person, so this kind of thing is extremely satisfying for me. But if you're not interested, that's totally fine. Just let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I definitely had a lot of fun making it. If you do have any feedback for me, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, or you can message me on Instagram at ag_Evelyn Rose. If you'd like to see more from me in the future, feel free to hit that subscribe button so you can see when I post a new video. Otherwise, take care of yourselves and we'll chat soon. Bye guys.